What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your week so far. Actually, I think this video is going up on a Friday, so the week should be pretty much over. So hopefully you had a good week. Anyway, today we're going to talk about Modern Warfare 2, basically just talking about the beta overall. I want to talk about some of my thoughts on it, right? Like, not just like what's bad, because I made a lot of videos on what's bad about the game. Let's talk about some of the positive / okay stuff / stuff that I'm hoping to change. Now, as I just mentioned, I already talked about, skill-based matchmaking, dead silence, footsteps, minimap, red dots, all that stuff, right? So I talked about all that in previous videos. So, if you think I'm not addressing it for some reason or whatever, just know that I've talked about it in other videos. So if you're curious about my thoughts on those, not really super unique thoughts. It's pretty much what everyone with like a decent KD has ever thought about. So go check out my previous videos if you want to hear my thoughts on those. But like I said, I want to talk about the beta, just kind of like what worked, kind of talk about the game itself. I don't want to talk about the nitty grittiness. Instead, today I want to talk about kind of an overall picture of just how I felt about it. Is it a decent game? Is it a fun game? Is it a bad game? And just kind of give my thoughts on that. So if you're interested in the video, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel. I hope you enjoy the gameplay in the background. It's on this like museum map and I'm using the M4. I think a lot of my beta gameplay is with the M4 because I didn't know how to use another gun for the longest time, because I wanted to use a submachine gun and that was not super possible. So hopefully enjoy this gameplay in the background. I think I get like a 4 KD, something like that. It's probably one of my better gameplays in the beta. But yeah, let's start off with some of the positive things about the Modern Warfare 2 beta. First off, I think that the sound, unironically, like regarding footsteps and stuff like that, unironically the sound is very good when it comes to how weapons sound, weapon reload sound, footstep audio. Like, you can easily pretty much tell directionally like where it is, if someone's above you, below you. Teammate footsteps is different. Even things like kill streaks, grenades, announcers, like all that stuff is like pretty tuned. It's pretty tuned to the point where you're not baffled at where things are coming from. There's no like sound mishap and miscues and things like that. So it's good. It's definitely polished in that aspect. So I agree that sound is pretty good in this game. Along with that, I would say that the graphics and the engine overall are good. I think that there wasn't really a lot of like texture glitches. Yes, there's like visibility and stuff like that, but that had to do more so with like nameplates rather than like the actual game itself is more like a game decision. Yeah, it was like a game specific decision instead of like a what do you want to call it, like a graphical like engine decision or an engine glitch or something like that. So it wasn't really more so about that. It's more so just like, put the dang nameplates back on, please. I don't think anyone's like upset at nameplates coming back. Another good thing I want to talk about with this game is that the maps aren't terrible. There's no map that stood out to me. I'll just be honest with you. There's no map that was like, oh man, I can't wait to play this map again. I think that some of them are better than others. I personally didn't mind Farm 18. I actually didn't even mind the hotel map that much either. This museum map is a bit too big for me at sometimes, but I think like depending on like if it's hardpoint or domination, I think it could work. Search and destroy works on, I would honestly say, pretty much all the beta maps. I didn't have an issue with search and destroy on any of these maps. I think that overall search and destroy is probably going to be the way to go in this game, and that's not saying that respawn's gonna suck or whatever, but I think that search and destroy is definitely gonna be the way to go. I think that the maps are gonna be beneficial for it. The way the game is laid out with like the whole like no dead silence thing, time to kill being super fast, all that stuff is like, it's made for search and destroy. Like, it's made for a slower playstyle. So I'm excited for search and destroy in this game, and I played a little bit during the beta. Let's talk about game modes. I don't think that the game modes are inherently bad. I think team deathmatch is bad, but that's always been the case. The rest of the game modes, I've been able to have some fun in, whether it be domination, hardpoint, search and destroy, even the third person mode, invasion, ground war. Like, honestly, it's probably gonna be a little contrary to my previous videos, I guess, but I did have a lot of fun in the Modern Warfare 2 beta. I don't think it was like so bad to the point where like I've just felt like getting off over and over again. I think it's definitely more fun with friends, of course, but that's like every single game, so you can't really judge that. I just didn't see a huge issue besides the main 3 being like dead silence, footsteps, radar, minimap, things like that. I think that the time to kill, honestly, not great. The time to kill, like if it was a little bit slower, if there was a little more time in between like death and stuff like that, I think this game could definitely improve. Maybe like an extra bullet or two. Like, I don't need it to be like Black Ops 4 150 health, but getting blinked at and dying doesn't feel super good. And I know that there's going to be a lot of cheese out there with shotguns and snipers and things like that. So I think weapon balancing while it's not terrible right now, I think that it has potential to be a lot worse. And I think that's definitely going to be an issue going forward, especially with like all the mix and match attachments and guns that you can create. You know, the M16, the M4, like I said, snipers and shotguns, definitely going to run amok. So yeah, I'm curious how that's going to go, but let's also talk about the perk system. They changed it from the beta weekend 1 to beta weekend 2 in the sense that beta weekend 2, especially like I think Saturday or Sunday, like one of the later days, you could actually end up having, how do you want to say it? Like basically it's sped up, right? So like instead of it taking like 8 minutes to get an ultimate, it would take like 3 or 2 minutes, something like that. It was like way faster. And that's obviously a good thing, but at the same time, it's like, it kind of just begs the question, is like, why don't you just have the perks launch at the start of the game? Like, why do I have to wait these 2 minutes? So I maybe they're just trying to fix, or not fix, but like just change things for the sake of changing it. I get it. You know, it is what it is. I don't think that the perk system needed to be changed. I don't think anybody in the world ever complained about it. I think having an extra perk like that is cool. I think that if you want to have like 3 base perks and then like end up having a 4th perk that if you like do better and better, you get to unlock, and kind of like a mini specialist bonus, like that's fine. Just don't make it like it's hardline or ghost or something like that. Like, I don't know. I also don't think survivor should be in this game. I think I'm running it in maybe in this gameplay, maybe not, but yeah, I don't think survivor, I don't think last stand should be in this game. I think it's just a terrible idea. It's very unnecessary. It's gotten me, you know, out of situations a lot of the times, but at the same time, a lot of times it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel like it benefits me at all. So I don't know. I'm not a big fan of survivor. I'm not a big fan of like that decision to bring it in along with the perk system. Think that definitely needs to be changed. I touched on it before in a previous video, but let's talk about it again. The UI menu is confusing and unnecessary. I saw a tweet from Ralph Valve recently. He's still a COD leaker. I don't know why he quit for a bit, but I guess he's back. And basically he talked about how the UI system is really not going to change. This menu is not going to change from beta to launch. They've, you know, basically hired whoever it was to do it, and they're not going to just completely switch it just because a lot of people didn't like it. I don't need it to fully switch. I need it to make sense, okay? Whether it's the gunsmith, whether it's, trying to invite friends or whatever, make it make sense. Make it be clear. There's just so much like ambiguity, and like I can't tell what's actually happening in these games or in these menus. I just need something to actually happen. I just need it to be clear. That's all I want. It doesn't have to look identical to a previous game or whatever. It just can't be so jarring and annoying to sort through and filter through that I just don't have fun with it and I get confused. I'm someone who's been playing Call of Duty for years and years now at this point, okay? I don't need to be confused by something so simple and so basic as to a menu screen, something that we've seen for years and years at this point. I don't need to be confused by that, okay? That's just my opinion on it. You let me know what you guys think about the menu in the comment section down below. I know a lot of people aren't super thrilled with the menu these days, so I think that that's not exactly going to be a hot take if you agree with me here. And last thing I want to touch on here, I talked about it before, but the third person mode isn't that bad. I see a lot of Call of Duty like haters kind of being okay with it as well. I think like just giving it a chance, maybe like at least a couple of games, don't just give it like one game. I think that, it has potential to be interesting, and I don't know. I think that the overall, like the camera work sometimes is a little, not off, but a little weird with the third person mode, but I think that, they can get that fixed. I don't know if it's like the kill cams or respawn time or whatever. But yeah, I mean, the third person mode's not bad. I don't think it'll be like my personal main game mode, but I can see it like being a fun break here and there. And I think that it's gonna, incentivize a lot of people to buy skins and stuff like that. Not that that's necessarily a good thing. Not that that's my goal for YouTube. I don't want to encourage people to buy stuff unless the game deserves it. I think that's the main takeaway from me. And also, as I said before, Invasion and Ground War, pretty okay game modes. I think, they're not really my cup of tea. For those of you who are subscribers of the channel for a while now, you guys know that I like 6v6. Not a huge fan of Warzone, not a huge fan of 2v2 or 10v10 or anything like that. I like 6v6. I just like the competitiveness of it, right? Like most maps are made for 6v6, barring, Modern Warfare 2019 maps. So that's what I like playing. But, oddly enough, Invasion and Ground War, I did really well. I don't know if it's like they turned off like the skill based, or they cranked it lower, or it's just harder to have skill base in those modes, but I didn't, really have a bad time. I felt like when I died, it wasn't like due to something stupid or anything like that. And I think that a lot of people are not that good in those games, so it was easy to I guess, do a little bit better than how you're probably used to seeing me do in these gameplays. I actually didn't, or like wasn't able to record. Something is really off with my recording with this game. I don't know if it's just because it's the beta or whatever, but I wasn't able to record with GeForce. So I was recording with OBS, and that's why the gameplay you see might look a little different than normal. I don't know, it's just using a different software than what I'm used to. But yeah, man, that's basically it for my thoughts overall on the beta. I think, like, overall, if I was to give it a grade, I did finish it. I did get to level 30. I don't want to say like unheard of for me, but like it's definitely rare these days. You know, I don't think I had that much fun in the Cold War or the Vanguard beta. So it's nice that I was able to actually play this game again and you know, actually have fun with it. Maybe I just really got sick of Vanguard or really just wanted to play a new game. But yeah, man, I did enjoy this beta to a certain degree. I'm going to give it a B- just because they didn't seem to listen to a lot of the changes that we really wanted. But at the end of the day, I think that this game has potential. I think this game could be pretty fun. And I'm hoping that Infinity Ward is willing to listen to most of the changes that we are making as a community. But yeah, man, we'll have to see. Thanks so much for watching. That's pretty much it for the video. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys later. Have a good weekend, guys. See you Monday. Peace out.